Our Earth, a blue and green jewel in the vast expanse of space, is unique for many reasons. One of the most remarkable is its atmosphere, a delicate veil of gases that envelops our planet and makes life possible. This thin layer of air provides us with the very breath we need, shielding us from the harsh radiation of space and regulating our planet's temperature. Without it, Earth would be a barren, lifeless rock. The atmosphere is a complex and dynamic system. It's composed of layers, each with its own unique properties and functions. The layer closest to Earth, the troposphere, is where weather occurs. Above that lies the stratosphere, home to the ozone layer, which protects us from harmful ultraviolet radiation. Beyond the stratosphere lie the mesosphere, thermosphere, and exosphere, gradually fading into the vacuum of space. This gaseous envelope is not static, it's constantly in motion, driven by solar energy and Earth's rotation. Winds circulate air masses, transporting heat and moisture around the globe. The atmosphere is also a crucial part of the water cycle, evaporating water from oceans and lakes, carrying it in the form of clouds, and releasing it back to the surface as precipitation. In essence, Earth's atmosphere is a delicate balancing act, a symphony of interconnected processes that create the conditions necessary for life as we know it. It's our planet's life support system, and its preservation is paramount to the well-being of all living things. The Sun, our nearest star, bathes Earth in a constant stream of energy in the form of sunlight. This radiant energy is the driving force behind our planet's climate and weather patterns. As sunlight enters our atmosphere, it interacts with the air and the Earth's surface in fascinating ways. Some of the incoming sunlight is reflected back into space by clouds, atmospheric particles, and the Earth's surface itself. The reflectivity of a surface is called its albedo, and it plays a significant role in determining how much solar energy is absorbed by our planet. Snow and ice, for example, have high albedo, reflecting a large portion of sunlight, while dark surfaces like forests and oceans absorb more solar energy. The sunlight that isn't reflected is absorbed by the Earth's surface, warming it. This absorbed energy is then re-emitted from the Earth's surface as infrared radiation, a form of electromagnetic radiation that we perceive as heat. This is where the greenhouse effect comes into play. The interaction of sunlight with our atmosphere is a complex process, but understanding it is crucial for comprehending the delicate energy balance that keeps our planet habitable. The atmosphere acts like a filter, selectively absorbing and reflecting different wavelengths of light, ultimately determining the amount of solar energy that reaches the Earth's surface and the amount that is radiated back into space. The greenhouse effect is a naturally occurring phenomenon that plays a vital role in regulating Earth's temperature, making it hospitable for life. It's like a cozy blanket wrapped around our planet, trapping some of the outgoing heat and preventing it from escaping back into space. Without the greenhouse effect, Earth's average temperature would be a frigid -18 degrees Celsius, far too cold to support life as we know it. Here's how it works. Certain gases in our atmosphere, known as greenhouse gases, act like the glass walls of a greenhouse. They allow sunlight to pass through but trap some of the infrared radiation or heat emitted by the Earth's surface. This trapped heat warms the planet, keeping our average global temperature at a comfortable 15 degrees Celsius. The greenhouse effect is a natural and essential process for life on Earth. However, human activities have significantly increased the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, enhancing the greenhouse effect and leading to a warming planet. This human-induced enhancement of the natural greenhouse effect is the primary cause of global warming and climate change. It's important to note that the greenhouse effect itself is not a bad thing. It's essential for life. It's the rapid increase in greenhouse gas concentrations due to human activities that is causing concern. Understanding the science behind the greenhouse effect is crucial for comprehending the challenges we face and for developing effective solutions to mitigate climate change. While several gases in Earth's atmosphere act as greenhouse gases, some play a more significant role than others due to their abundance and heat-trapping abilities. These key players include water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, each with its own unique characteristics and sources. Water vapor is the most abundant greenhouse gas and plays a crucial role in regulating Earth's temperature. It enters the atmosphere through evaporation from water bodies and transpiration from plants. While it's a potent greenhouse gas, its concentration in the atmosphere is largely determined by temperature, creating a feedback loop. As temperatures rise, more water evaporates, leading to a warmer atmosphere and further evaporation. Carbon dioxide, though less abundant than water vapor, is a long-lived greenhouse gas with a significant impact on Earth's climate. It's released into the atmosphere through natural processes such as volcanic eruptions and the respiration of living organisms. However, human activities, primarily the burning of fossil fuels for energy, have significantly increased its concentration in the atmosphere. Methane is a potent greenhouse gas with a much shorter lifespan in the atmosphere than carbon dioxide. It's released from natural sources like wetlands and termites, as well as from human activities such as livestock farming, rice cultivation, and natural gas leakage. Despite its shorter lifespan, methane traps significantly more heat than carbon dioxide, making it a major contributor to global warming. Nitrous oxide is another potent greenhouse gas with a long atmospheric lifespan. It's released from natural sources like soils and oceans, as well as from human activities such as agriculture and industrial processes. Like methane, nitrous oxide traps significantly more heat than carbon dioxide, contributing to the overall warming effect. A delicate balance, human activities and the greenhouse effect. For millennia, the natural greenhouse effect has maintained Earth's temperature within a range suitable for life to thrive. However, since the Industrial Revolution, human activities have been releasing increasing amounts of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, disrupting this delicate balance and leading to a warming planet. The burning of fossil fuels for energy, transportation and industrial processes is the primary source of human-caused greenhouse gas emissions. Coal, oil and natural gas, formed over millions of years from the remains of ancient organisms, release carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases when burned, trapping heat and warming the planet. Deforestation, driven by agriculture, logging and urbanization, is another significant contributor to greenhouse gas emissions. Trees act as carbon sinks, absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere during photosynthesis. When forests are cleared or burned, this stored carbon is released back into the atmosphere, amplifying the greenhouse effect. Agriculture, particularly livestock farming, is a major source of methane emissions. Ruminant animals such as cattle and sheep produce methane during digestion, which is released into the atmosphere. Rice cultivation is another agricultural practice that contributes to methane emissions, as flooded rice paddies create ideal conditions for methane-producing microbes. Industrial processes such as cement production and the manufacturing of chemicals and fertilizers also release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. These processes often involve chemical reactions that produce greenhouse gases as byproducts, further contributing to the overall warming effect. A world overheating, consequences of a heightened greenhouse effect. The consequences of an intensified greenhouse effect are far-reaching and pose significant threats to natural systems, human societies, and the global economy. As greenhouse gas concentrations continue to rise, so too does Earth's average temperature, leading to a cascade of impacts that are already being felt around the world. One of the most visible consequences of global warming is the melting of glaciers and ice sheets. As temperatures rise, glaciers are retreating at an alarming rate, contributing to rising sea levels and threatening the water supplies of millions of people who depend on glacial meltwater. The melting of the Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets, if left unchecked, could have catastrophic consequences, inundating coastal cities and displacing millions of people. Rising sea levels, driven by melting glaciers and the thermal expansion of seawater as it warms, pose a significant threat to coastal communities and ecosystems. Low-lying island nations are particularly vulnerable, facing the risk of complete submergence. Coastal erosion, saltwater intrusion into freshwater aquifers, and more frequent and severe coastal flooding are just some of the challenges posed by rising sea levels. Climate change is also leading to more extreme weather events such as heat waves, droughts, floods and storms. These events are becoming more frequent and intense, causing widespread damage to infrastructure, agriculture and human health. Heat waves can be deadly, particularly for the elderly and those with underlying health conditions. Droughts can lead to crop failures, water shortages and wildfires. Floods can cause widespread damage to homes, businesses and transportation systems. Storms can bring high winds, heavy precipitation and storm surges, causing significant coastal erosion and flooding. Turning the tide solutions for a sustainable future. Addressing the challenge of climate change requires a multifaceted approach involving a global transition to a low-carbon economy and the implementation of sustainable practices across all sectors of society. Fortunately, solutions exist and many are already being implemented, offering hope for a more sustainable future. One of the most crucial steps in mitigating climate change is transitioning from fossil fuels to renewable energy sources. Solar, wind, hydro, geothermal and biomass energy offer clean and sustainable alternatives to fossil fuels, reducing greenhouse gas emissions and decreasing our reliance on finite resources. Investing in renewable energy infrastructure, promoting energy efficiency, and adopting carbon pricing mechanisms are essential for accelerating this transition. Protecting and restoring forests is another critical strategy for combating climate change. Trees act as carbon sinks, absorbing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere during photosynthesis. Halting deforestation, promoting reforestation efforts, and implementing sustainable forest management practices can significantly contribute to carbon sequestration, helping to offset greenhouse gas emissions. Transforming agriculture and land use practices is essential for reducing greenhouse gas emissions and enhancing carbon sequestration. Adopting sustainable farming practices such as no-till farming, crop rotation and agroforestry can improve soil health, reduce fertilizer use and sequester carbon in soils. Reducing food waste and promoting plant-based diets can also significantly lower agriculture's environmental footprint. Investing in sustainable transportation systems is crucial for reducing emissions from the transportation sector. Promoting public transportation, cycling and walking, as well as transitioning to electric vehicles powered by renewable energy, can significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions and improve air quality in urban areas. A collective responsibility, our hope for a brighter tomorrow. The challenge of climate change is daunting, but it is not insurmountable. It requires a collective effort involving governments, businesses, communities, and individuals all working together to create a more sustainable future. By embracing our shared responsibility and taking action, we can turn the tide on climate change and create a healthier, more equitable, and more prosperous world for all. It's time to move beyond despair and embrace a spirit of optimism and determination. The solutions are within reach, and the time for action is now. By transitioning to clean energy, protecting our forests, transforming our food systems, and embracing sustainable lifestyles, we can create a world where both people and planet can thrive. Every individual has a role to play in this collective effort. By making conscious choices in our daily lives, reducing our carbon footprints, and advocating for change, we can contribute to a more sustainable future. Together, we can be the generation that turns the tide on climate change and creates a brighter tomorrow for generations to come. Let us move forward with hope, determination, and a shared commitment to safeguarding our planet for future generations. The time for action is now, and the future is in our hands.